16-bit themes, laying it down. Somebody's gonna get their box opened. Somebody's gonna get their tape split. Somebody's gonna get their box opened. Somebody's gonna get their tape split. Yeah! Open up, give me stuff, open up, give me stuff. Yeah! Shadaloo up in this mug. Street Fighter 2 Hyper Edition.
Hey guys, this is Chase. Welcome back to Burnout Inc. and to another edition of the Hall of Pain. This is a very special one because as of right now, it is officially my birthday. I turned 36 years old, and what have I got to show for it? I guess let's just kick things off with a birthday present from the man, the myth, the legend himself, the guy who hopefully you will never ever see on the trending page of Twitter for anything negative, WOD Figs. My good buddy Ryan, met him when me and my best friend went to New York. Also met Captain McKay, DGDX, Crown Jesus, Dylan's WW Figures. Met a lot of good people there, but I got to meet Ryan, and he and I, pretty much have been friends since like 2014, 2015. And he's recently gotten back on Instagram because he's selling through some of his figures, and two of these popped up, and I was like, okay. Well, two of them popped up, but one of them I needed specifically. But first and foremost, let's jump into the figure that he gave to me as a birthday gift. And that would be this Undertaker fix-up here. Pretty much what she got here is, I'm guessing this is the WrestleMania Heritage Series Undertaker body from, let's see, it's WrestleMania 31. I believe it was that WrestleMania Heritage Series, the one that also came with Kane. And I wasn't too big a fan of that figure. I thought it was alright, but it was during Mattel's dark days where they were horribly cheapening out on stuff. This Taker didn't have a fabric coat, and I think he was also missing the tie that like the entrance grates had. Don't quote me because I'm not 100% certain on that, but that's just how I remember things. Anywho, the reason why this is so freaking awesome is because there was a basic, I believe it was in the Then, Now, and Forever series, where this Undertaker head was exclusive to that. It has a paler skin tone, and if you look at his makeup, you can tell that he has seen better days. He definitely has had a couple of late night binges watching 616 Entertainment. I mean, the history of Halloween where Undertaker basically stole all of his best stuff from Michael Myers. He was doing his research, just kept him up at night. This is one of my favorite Undertaker head scans. I believe it's almost pretty much the same one as the Elite 23 Undertaker. The reason why this one works so much more is because it has a more natural tone to his eyebrows, his beard, because Undertaker is naturally a ginger. And he has the dark brown hair, which I wish were on his other, dead man style elites. They always seem to go for the jet black, which is what he had more in his later career in his ministry days. But when he was in this phase of the Undertaker, he had that brown hair and it looked freaking awesome. And yeah, so I have a couple of these heads, so it's nice to have another one. And WODFigs took very good care of this. Not really any defects I can see. Maybe some scuffage in the gloves, but hey, when you're the dead man, you wear these gloves for a specific reason, because you're gonna get your hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I get my hands dirty all the time. It's a good thing I have multiple pairs of gloves. Anywho, yeah, it's a pretty damn good figure. A little looseness in the joints, but you know something? We kind of like that around here. Makes it super easy to pose. And now let's get to one of the main events of this episode, and that is big, sexy Kevin Nash. So this is one of the most sought after Mattel figures of all time. The Elite 16 Kevin Nash in his completely red Outsiders attire, aside from the graphics and whatnot, but still, this is just such a badass figure. He wore this in the Bash at the Beach 96 match where I said for the longest time I was okay missing out on this figure because I got the Elite 16 Diesel, and truthfully, I'm more of a Diesel fan than I am a Kevin Nash fan. yeah, my tastes are horrible. I even like the 2016 Suicide Squad movie. I didn't love it. I don't think it's a great movie. I just had fun watching it. Sue me. What are you gonna do? Anywho, the Elite 16, Kevin Nash. Love this head sculpt. I used to kind of talk some trash about it, but once I like just had it in person, I'm really liking it. I like the face. I can see a difference between this and the Elite 16 Diesel. Maybe I'm high, or I don't know. I'm just, I see subtle differences in just the face alone. The hair is completely different because he's got the longer hair, the more swooshing hair. The singlet looks good. It says Outsiders on the front. He's got his tattoos. He's got his wrist tape. That was one thing I was kind of sad about him turning into Kevin Nash versus Diesel. I missed the glove. The pants look pretty cool. The belt looks kind of awesome. On the right leg, it says Outsiders all the way down in a mishmash of lowercase and uppercase fonts. That used to drive me crazy when I was a kid. I'm just like, just stick to a font, man, or stick to uppercase or lowercase. But anyway, he's got his black fringe going down each side. They look pretty good. A little looseness in the figure, but again, this is an older figure. This is like a 2011, 2012 figure. My God, that takes me back. Yeah, this figure absolutely rules. I have been after this for so long. I was not gonna drop 80 to $100 on just this figure alone, especially because of the deal Ryan gave me. For that price, I also got I'm blanking on it because I haven't done this in a long time, so excuse me. I got the WWE Defining Moments Razor Ramon. So what am I gonna do with this thing? Because I already have a perfect Defining Moments Razor Ramon. Maybe I'll sell it, maybe I'll give it away. If we never ever get an Elite Razor Ramon in his WrestleMania 10 attire, maybe I could turn this into that. Who knows? But anyway, thank you again, Ryan, so much. Please follow WODFigs' page on Instagram. Check out some of his old YouTube videos if you're feeling nostalgic. He's a good dude. Ryan, we love you. Thank you so much, dude. So now we got a couple of figures from my good buddy, Captain McKay Random. And you guys know what these are. These are the WWE Legend Series Mean Mark and Edge. This is the Chase variant Edge. The original Edge comes in... He comes in this gear. It's a white, gold, and silver gear. So getting a better look at the... God, what did Edge go by when he was like this? Because he wasn't the Rated R Superstar yet. I mean, I don't even really know what his professional nickname was at the time. His legs are a little warped. Not a big deal. I'm just going to have to heat them up and get them back into place. I've unfortunately had a lot of my figures in storage or in bins because I had to close up shop for a little while. But yeah. So, yeah, I freaking love this Legend Series figure. The True FX really makes this look like Edge. Edge comes with this really good looking fabric coat. It's got the buckles painted on here and not much more detail to it, which is totally fine. His red, white, and black attire here looks freaking awesome. This is one of my favorite Edge looks from back in the day. And quite frankly, we just do not have enough figures wearing all red tights. So this is awesome. He's got the kick padded boots with the old style Edge logo on here. Pretty awesome. So selfish I would totally want them to make an Edge from 2004, 2005 when he first turned heel and he had that sick new logo where it's basically like his face and it still said like Edge on it or something. I just think that'd be pretty freaking awesome. So Cap, thank you so much for finding this for me. And now we get to this guy. I'm not certain whatever happened to Mean Mark. I remember he was in WCW and I thought maybe he might have had a little bit of a better career there. I don't know, maybe he asked for more money or something and the management just said, nah son. Yeah, I have no idea whatever happened to him, How about you, Taker? You know what happened to this guy? I don't either. Anywho, Mean Mark sports a mean mug. Haha. Really like the face on here. You can definitely tell that this is a younger Mark Calloway. The mullet, what can you say? If you're not a fan of the mullet, Solid Snake has got some words for you. So he's got a leatherish vest here. It's a pretty thin material as well. So try to be careful with that. and it looks rather small once you take it off of him, but surprisingly it fits on this massive frame. Like, Jesus, he is jacked. This is that's something I love about these new like double jointed arms. It just seems like it's giving everybody so much more like muscle definition and stuff. And these are a much needed change. I haven't really gone into these since Mattel's updated the articulation, but I love these. They're pinless, so you don't see the pin on them anymore. The legs don't have that yet. They're still, you know, the little pin on each one of the joints. Not the biggest deal in the world, but still, aesthetically, they're pretty good. You got the Mean Mark elbow pad right here, and he's got a red trim on it. White wrist tape. He's got a glove, you know, much like me. Oh yeah. Not bad looking. It's painted a little weird right there. I don't know if that's just because of the... I know that's like mesh and stuff, but this looks just a little wonky. He's also got a set of chaps that would make Shawn Michaels jealous. And unlike those previous Shawn Michaels figures, this one is completely fabric. So once he is in his full wrestling gear, God, this is a pretty awesome figure. I mean, he's got a lot of bulk to him. Could definitely use this for a number of different figures. You might be able to make like a more updated Psycho Sid with this guy, or maybe make a custom Demolition if you don't have, you know, the original Demolition out of him. Just spitballing ideas. So he's got black trunks with a red trim, big bulky knee pads, white and red socks, and red boots with little white and black detail on them. Pretty freaking awesome. A lot of detail on this Mean Mark. Kind of feels like, you know, we're only going to get one shot with Mean Mark, because, you know, who really wants an ultimate edition of this guy? Oh, don't get all grumpy with me. But yeah, so Mattel, you did an awesome job on this one. And the cool thing is, I guess not cool if you're Mean Mark, this entire Legend series is on clearance at Target for as low as $6 a figure. So get to your local Target, see if you can snag a couple of these guys, because the new arms, the extra hands, you can do a lot with them. So this is something I actually lost and have recently rediscovered. Back during the earlier days of the pandemic, I was working on a custom Finn Balor Crow attire, and I got really far on the face. The face is completely done. I didn't plan on doing anything else with it. I was really happy with how this turned out. It's not much you can make out on camera on here, but I actually didn't paint the face completely white. You can still see some of the flesh underneath there. Just because, like, if you look at like the Brandon Lee Crow and stuff like that, the black parts look really good, but like the white and stuff like that, you could tell was kind of fading, and colored over the old Balor logo and stuff like that. And I swapped out the Eric Young Elite boots, because if you look back at the Crow, Eric Draven had like those badass rocker boots with like the tongue and everything sticking out. And thankfully, Eric Young had a set of those. So, yeah. And this is the kind that has the interchangeable hands. Maybe if I keep going on this, I'll update the arms. And the big logo on the back of this thing was going to be like the burning crow symbol. And in the middle of that was going to be like the Brandon Lee Crow walking in the middle of like the church and stuff like that. You've seen that iconic shot from the Crow. So that's what I had going with this. I had a lot of other details I was going to add to this. You know, just time gets away from us. And like I said, I did lose this thing. I had no idea where it went. Surprisingly, all of the paint and everything held up. Still got to paint over that though. But yeah, I'm glad I found this. Gonna throw it on my desk and we're gonna keep going. So I have really yet to talk about the AEW Jazzwares figures since one of my last Hall of Pain videos. I think that was back when I had COVID. I really love this line of figures. Something that was really concerning to me when the line first started, I was worried about the arms. On those first elites, like you can, I mean, the first elites, the first all elites figures, the first unrivaled figures, there was you can kind of hear it. There's a loud ratcheting noise that happens in there. Sometimes with those, the articulation just is not great. is very stiff, but with these Jazzwares figures, I'm very impressed with them. There's just a lot of fluid motion out of them, so that's awesome. This one is the unmatched Kenny Omega, I believe. You guys will have to correct me if I got it wrong. I'm still, still get confused on unmatched and unrivaled sometimes, but I believe this is unmatched. Love the, cleaner bang hand that he comes with. So, yeah. The faces on these things, I think, look really good. Something I did notice about Jazzwares is they either nail it right out of the gate or it takes them 1 or 2 tries, but usually on that second try, they get it. And I thought the first Kenny Omega looked really good. I just wasn't a fan of the hair, but every Kenny Omega since has just wowed me. And the thing I do love about these figures is at the same price point as the Elites, and this is before the Elites had the updated articulation, these guys had the double jointed elbows, they had the same diaphragm joint that the Ultimate Editions had. Really, really like that. The other thing I like about them too, you can't turn the waist all the way around. That's something that, you can do that on the Elites and the Ultimates, but a normal person can't do that. And I kind of prefer this because sometimes with those Elites, you can spin them like a dreidel top. They'll just, they get so loose. The one thing I wish they did a little bit better were here in the hip joints. For some reason, not the biggest fan of how that flexes, but it's not too bad. These figures do get really loose really quickly, but with some Mod Podge and maybe a little bit of glue or some rubber bands might help them out. Another big thing I wanted to point out, and I think grabbing Monsieur Edge, look at the cut on the hips. The WWE figures have always put the cut a little bit above the crotch piece, and I've always hated that because when you rotate the hips, they tend to kind of cut into there sometimes. See, it's like if I do it on that side, you can tell it's kind of going underneath it and it can grind on it. Obviously, I know that these things are not, meant to be customized or whatever, but that is something that always kind of bugged me about them. The AEW figures, on the other hand, are smart enough, all right, let's try not to insult people here, but the design choice was something I prefer. It's below that crotch piece. That way you can get that full rotation. And something else that's kind of cool, that upper hip does rotate. So it's a little different style joint than what the Mattel uses. Pretty cool. He does have the double bend. And I like what they've done with these knee pads. They've made them, I think they're a little bit softer than the Mattel figures. And they kind of they kind of like crinkle up and bend much higher, so that way you can get more articulation out of them. Love the design on the boots. The kick pads are completely unique to Kenny Omega, I think, because they go above his boot. And you've got a really, really solid ankle rock out of there. You can definitely hold a position with that. It's much better than the Mattel figure as well, in that regard. And thankfully, these guys are pretty much in scale. I mean, I know he's got a wonky leg. I do believe that Edge is like 6'4" in real life, and Kenny Omega is about, what, like 6'1", 6'2"? I'll have to double check that, so don't don't track me in the comments, please. What comments? Like, anybody's gonna watch this shit. Love him. I like that heights, like the height and everything like that just matches up. Skin tones are a little bit different, which is great. I mean, always nice to have variety. The one thing both companies just refuse to do is to make their figures super tan like in real life. Like, let me put a picture of Edge and Kenny Omega. Look how tan they are. Now look at their figures. What is this? What do you guys have against tans, man? I can't tan. I want my figures to have tans. So, from Kenny Omega and All Elite Wrestling and Jazzwares, I say goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bang. So the other cool thing about the All Elite Wrestling figures from Jazzwares is that they came right out of the gate with an AEW championship. If you got that Chris Jericho, a little bit of the bubbly, if you waited for the John Moxley figure or whomever, a lot of figures have the AEW World Championship now. There's a Women's Championship, there's the updated Women's Championship, which is coming with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and there's a couple of AEW tag titles, and there's a couple of versions of the TNT Championship. Awesome stuff. Really, really like this belt. There's two different versions of this. There's one where the gold is a lot more standout, like it's a lot bolder and brighter. This one looks really good. And this one has a lighter strap. That earlier AEW Championship had a much thicker strap to it. It's kind of hard to do the belt buckles and stuff like that. But this one's pretty damn good. As much as I love this, you know I had to purchase this one. This is a custom AEW World Championship from Forbidden Figurines. She has exploded since the last video I made on her. And her stuff is amazing. The tippy top of belt making, in my opinion. You know, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. But I'm just particularly fond of her work. Love the backer card. Let's get this bad boy out of here. Voila! Here is our AEW Championship from Forbidden Figurines. Just blown away by the amount of detail on here. This is as close to the real deal as you can get in this scale. Here is a look at what you get from Jazzwares versus what you can get from Forbidden Figurines. And there are a number of other belt makers out there who have made this one as well, including Mad Reaper Studios, who made an awesome AEW championship back in the day. I really just love buying the custom ones because there's just so much more detail that they bring out versus what the official toy company can do. Again, I understand why, because this is a large, massive scale thing, so you have to make them as good as you can for as cheap as you can. And I'm not saying that this belt is cheap or it's bad looking. It's awesome. It's awesome. There is a lot of detail here. So if you have it, don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for owning this, and if I only owned it, I wouldn't feel bad as well. I just like to really pay compliments where compliments are due, and Forbidden Figurines is a goddess of belt making, and very excited to own this. This is just such a sweet freaking championship. The AEW World Championship is probably my favorite world championship in wrestling right now, so it's amazing to have this belt. So thank you again. Love the design of the strap, how you could see the stitching and everything like there on, like how you would on a real championship. The added little, why can't I think of them? Like the buckle pieces and stuff like that really brings this out. And she's added her logo on the back of it. So another custom figure belt maker that I am a huge fan of is Turnquist Custom Fig Belts, or Dan Turnquist on Instagram. I don't remember how I found him, but it was just one of those lucky algorithm things that popped up on Instagram. And yep, here he is. So awesome to have another high quality belt maker out there. So this one is the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Championship. First one by Jordan Grace. This belt freaking rules. I loved it the second I saw it. So when I saw that Dan had his own version of it, I had to pick it up. But let's get into the details of Dan's Impact Wrestling Digital Media Championship belt here. Love the etching on here. Perfectly recreates the like circuitry motherboard thing that this title belt has going on. I think like some green would have really made it look awesome. Like if the back plate was green with the gold circuitry and stuff like that. That just would have looked so awesome in my opinion. Dan did a great job of painting this. You can see all the details and everything. Love the side plates. Also a 5-plated belt like the AEW Championship. The one thing I noticed about Dan's belts is that he includes like this like ending kind of strap, like buckle strap thing here. love that. Love that he's kind of the only person I've noticed that has been adding this detail to his custom belts. He's also got the the little buttons and stuff like that. That's what they are. They're buttons. So yeah, I've had the pleasure of talking with Dan through DMs and comments and stuff like that. Seems like a really good dude. It's nice having someone else out there in the custom figure belt making world, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, please give him a follow and be on the lookout for whenever his new merch drops. So I had something else I was going to show off, but unfortunately it is not working. Hopefully I can get it working for another video. So we're going to end this with one final thing. Thanks to my good friend Captain McKay Random, I was able to get the Legend Series Jake the Snake Roberts variant, the gray attire, which is based on his WCW run. Well, I don't know where he is right now. He's obviously in one of my bins, but I do have a figure that he included out of the kindness of his heart. Didn't ask him to include it, he just threw it in there. That is the NECA King Kong, one of Captain McKay's figures of the year, I believe in 2021 or 2020. I want to say 2020. This isn't that version per se. This is an updated King Kong where he has an articulated mouth. If you guys haven't checked out Captain McKay's amazing King Kong stop motion, please do so. It is just... Those dudes, I can't think of their names right now because I don't know the whole history of King Kong, but the guys that made the original, if they could see what he did, I hope they would be proud. But damn, look at this thing. This is from NECA. The articulated jaw is just wonderful on this guy. He's got that full range of motion and, you know, just looks really cool. And it's a lot of fun to play with. The face looks great. It looks like the classic 1920s King Kong. He's got all the scarring and stuff on his chest and on his face. The arms are a little weird to work with because it's a double jointed hinge in the middle of these two arm pieces. So, you know, sorry if I'm moving her around a little weird, but the articulation on him overall is really great because you got so much of it with the head rotating, the jaw, you got the diaphragm joint, no waist joint. Does have good range of motion in the legs. And this is a soft piece right here, so you can get a full, you know, kick out of him and stuff like that. Kong also comes with the mightiest of all weapons, a steak. It's got a lot of great details to it. It's just a tree branch that he uses to club other animals with. Speaking of animals, he does come with a pterodactyl, which is awesome. Pterodactyl's got some articulation to him, and he's not bad looking. I mean, he could, you know, eat a little bit more, put some meat on those bones. But he's got a hinged jaw, so that's cool. And the head can rotate. No flapping really, but he is a soft enough material to where you could just do that on your own. And the back detailing on him is really nice. So good on NECA for including that. And they also included this little guy. I don't know where he is in the King Kong movie originally. Captain McKay could tell you better than me. It's been forever since I've seen that one. But he does have a hinged jaw, so that's impressive that we got all these different animals with this King Kong figure, and they're all wonderfully articulated in some way. And the head does rotate. That's something I just discovered. And of course, Kong's got to come with some alternate hands, so he's got some grabbing hands, or he's got some, you know, posing hands if he's worshiping the urn like he's the Undertaker. He's got a closed fist for, you know, fist bumping. There you are. And he's just got, you know, his normal grip hands for the tree stump and stuff like that, or the tree branch. So yeah, big thank you to Captain McKay Random. This was such an awesome surprise. I looked at that Jake figure, I was like, okay, I know I'm getting this from Captain McKay, but why is it in such a huge box? From the one, the only Captain McKay Random. He picked something up at target for me, something I have been after for a little bit. But spoilers for what it might be. Found the Target exclusive Jake the Snake Legend Series badass figure. Really love this. This is the attire that he wore when he trapped the Macho Man Randy Savage's arm in the vice-like grip of the deadly cobra. I believe the cobra's name is Lucifer, or Arbok if you're a Pokemon fan. So yeah, that's a freaking awesome figure. Let's see what the captain brought us. Okay, I don't know if you are aware of this, but this was supposed to be a Jake the Snake Roberts figure. What the hell is this? I have been bamboozled. This is not what I paid for. Captain McKay, you are a bad person. You are a scammer. Blocked. Actually, this is something completely 100% unexpected. I did not know this was in here. But there he is. There's our boy. This is the Chase variant Jake the Snake. Yep, so this is WCW version of Jake the Snake. This is the variant of the Legend series. I believe this is the attire that he wore when he took on Sting in that like coal miner's glove match where you were able to get this black glove in order to grab a hold of the snake and use it to strike your opponent with. I kind of wish they would have given Jake a new head scan or head sculpt, because we've seen this one many times. Something with a smiling expression or with like a grin or just something a little bit different would have been pretty cool. I would have been fine if they would have reused the one from his flashback figure. That was a very limited release, unfortunately. But we got his King Cobra here, looking pretty awesome. He also comes with a smaller version of the sack that he uses to transport the snake. He's got alternate hands, of course. He's got a ungloved right hand and, you know, 2 sets of pointer fingers. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you very much, Cap. Thank you so much for finding this for me and for reaching out. Appreciate you as always. So yeah, what in the world, Cap? What are you thinking, mister? Oh no. I got a note. See, it says, Chase, sorry it took 100 years to send Jake. Couldn't remember if you got NECA Kong or not, but it's my mission in life to make sure every living being in the world can have one because it's such a good figure. If you have one already, you can always pass this one along. And he drew a lovely little Bret Hart symbol because, as you all know, Bret Hart is the man. I will hear no slander about the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. That's awesome. I have actually saved every single note and stuff that I've gotten from either Cap or Ian or Jerry Horror or pretty much anybody that's ever sent me anything. So yeah, holy shit, NECA King Kong. I don't own this figure. I haven't really been collecting much NECA stuff lately. I make exception for the Ninja Turtle stuff, but again, this is something I have seen in stores and I have wanted it. It's just, you know, money's tight. And Cap, thank you so much for sending this to me. This is freaking badass. And then here's your boy with a much more angrier expression. Ugh, would not want to see that in a dark alley, because that would be a gigantic monkey head. And not only that, it'd be bleeding. Ugh. Can't imagine what kind of diseases he has. Brush your teeth too. Your breath is nasty. Anywho, yeah, this head looks freaking badass. I love all the little scars and scratches and stuff on the side of his face and on his mouth and stuff. Almost like he just got into a fight with, you know, some of these little guys. I mean, look at this little guy. This little guy will mess you up. My boy Cody over at Steinsenberg Customs was selling some stuff not too long ago. In fact, actually, that was a lie. It was a long time ago. My perception of time is just really awful right now. And he was selling a set of NXT guardrails, and I did not pick these up when they were first available. Not really a regret or anything like that, but he just had these on sale on his Instagram page, and I said, you know what? Again, that's just too good of a deal to pass up. And whenever I shot my animations and stuff in the Chase Arcade style arena, I was using those Super Nintendo cartridges for ring barriers, but I still wanted traditional ring barriers at some point. And happy to say we have those with these, and they also include these little slip-on covers for NXT. Not going to set them up here, just wanted to let you guys know that my boy Cody hooked it up, and very appreciative of that. I speak English. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to bring an end to this video. I really just wanted to get something out for my birthday and to kind of update everybody on what's going on. Captain McKay and I have actually been DMing each other and texting each other and talking a lot about the future of my channel, ways I can help out as Patreon. So I know one question, and I guess let me just put my hands out here so you can see that I am actually talking to you. I know one thing that everyone kind of has been asking me about is BPW, stop motions. Are they ever going to come back? Are you going to do any more? Yada, 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 yada. I've very slowly been gaining back my confidence in just about every aspect of my life. The pandemic, work, just trying to take care of a home, a wife, dogs. It's been a lot, and I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, a lot of things I've had to confront. And yeah, I've made some posts on Instagram about my sort of mental health journey. I've taken long breaks from social media, completely deleted Twitter. I'm on Instagram here and there, but you know, everything, I'm trying to not make everything so up in the air. I'm trying to regain structure. And like I said, trying to gain back your confidence when you've really just kind of had your world rocked it's hard. So me being like 36 right now and trying to find time to do this stuff when unfortunately there's a lot more pressing things I need to put my time into is hard, but I'm trying to make that time because making stuff, drawing, videos, whatever, it's what I love to do, and slowly but surely it's coming back. This was just a first step, and hey, it's my birthday. Why not make this the first day of a new beginning? Cool. Right on. Anyway, this was Chase. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for sticking it out. And slowly but surely, we'll figure out what we're doing once again. All right. Love you guys, and I will see you next time.